Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Industry Influencers. This is episode 4, and I got the fantastic Dean Lindsay here. Dean, you have been an international speaker, author of 4 books.
You
CD,
got my 4th one right there. That's cool.
Like,
you're the first person to say that out loud.
Really?
I'm the author of 4 books.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool man. So, and you've also worked with some pretty high-end clients. Like who do you work with, or who have you worked with? In the past?
Oh, well, I work with Trey.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate the shout out.
Well, you know, you got the American Airlines, New York Life,
Yeah.
Raytheon.
Yeah.
The Trade Group.
The Trade Group. Shout out to the Trade Group here. They do a lot of great things just to promote businesses, and they have some traveling booths as well, so make sure to check them out.
One of their top graphic designers, Noel Mars, did the cover of both my first 2 books.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so the first 2 books aren't
No,
here,
nope,
right?
you don't got those.
But these are the second, these are the third and
the third and the fourth. That's right.
So tell me about your books here. I've looked into them a little bit. I know I have copies myself. So, but tell me a little bit more. I want to get the Dean Lindsay version, like the person.
The first book there, The Big Fat Goals, it's a goal commitment book. There's a lot of books on goal setting. This book is on goal commitment.
Okay.
Most of us have big enough goals, they're just not fat enough. And fat is a slang term for pretty hot and tempting. What we've got to do, if we're going to go up against all the different options of what we could choose to do with our time and encourage our team members to choose the option we want them to choose versus all the other options of what they could do with their time, we have to make that option fat. We have to make it the most attractive option. So that's where the premise comes in, and that's where the book really helps people, because it's called How to Achieve Big Fat Goals, but the way to achieve them is to stay committed to them.
Interesting. And I know that those are things that not just within the workplace, because I know that you train on that for the workplace, but also within your own industry, your own business building. Those are things that you need to implement if you're wanting to grow and succeed. Is that right?
Oh, most definitely. You know, the people ask me, you know, how do you succeed in business? The number one way is don't quit.
Yeah, that's some good advice right there.
It seems so crazy simple, but you also guard your mind, guard your money, maybe move a little slowly, you know, those type of things. All that stuff plays into to not quit. Don't get psyched out.
Yeah.
If you get psyched out, the ramifications of getting psyched out is you quit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't play somebody else's game.
Yeah, that's good. So
are we done? Did that have enough? Is that enough profound things? I gotta come up with.
No, that's great, man. Bro, you got so much experience. I just want to kind of dive into all of that.
Come on, what else?
You know?
What else do you want to talk about?
Okay, so I know that. Okay, so you've worked with some, like you said before, you work with some pretty high-end clients. How did you scale your business to work with those large names?
Well, you know, for my business, because sometimes I've had to bring in a couple more people, but not usually. You know, you farm out the CPA and you farm out the graphic design, and the different aspects of it. But for me, it's really just the attracting of them. You know, the snagging of them. There were a couple of times when I had some pretty big deals that it was a great opportunity, but I didn't take care of some of the other things that I should have during that great opportunity, and then after that great opportunity was over, I didn't have the funnel full. So I learned my lesson. I had a deal one time where I was booked for 13 weeks.
Wow.
Working for Menards up in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and what I should have done was done that gig every day, and then coming back and continue to send out the emails and the marketing and those type of things, but. Yeah. But I didn't. So you have to learn your lesson. So if Menards would like to have me back, I'll make the most of it this time.
Sure.
So that's what I would say about it.
Sure. Yeah, but it seems like it's the performance it's the performing the services that you promise, right? It's that, but also the lead you have to balance it all, right?
Yes.
It's lead generating, it's following up with people. I mean, it's all of it.
And it's also capturing the great stuff people have said. And one of the things I definitely have done well and continue to do well is getting endorsements from pleased clients.
Absolutely.
And then playing that back to because you're trying to build a body of evidence to prove that you're the bomb. That you can really do it. I'm jazzed to be having you help me with the newest. Editing of some of the newest content on the music, on the videos, speaker videos, because that's what we want, that proof. But then you're absolutely right. You need to show up offering that and more, right? So because people are going to remember, and then the referrals come from there. But what I share is do really great work for people who know people.
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
That's some good advice right there. And I think, again, with talking with some of the other people that have been on the show, it's like the stronger your business relationships are, the more likely you are to succeed within your industry. Is that right?
Yes, and the happier you'll be too.
You get the work, right? So,
yeah, well, that way you get peace of mind. There's
Yeah.
stuff happening. And then you
Sure.
just got to realize that you got. There was a time when I kind of got sidetracked, and I forgot this little mantra that I used to say all the time. But because I've been doing this 18 years.
Wow.
Right. I've been speaking 49 years, but only professionally for 18.
49 years? You look so
Speaking?
young, man.
Speaking?
What?
Since I was one.
No. Ha.
You didn't get that joke, man.
It went
And
over
you
my
got a
head,
drum
man.
roll? Can you add drum roll in the editing?
We got a drummer in the house, isn't that right?
Add
Hey.
a drum roll in the editing. So I've been
Okay.
speaking. That's one of my sticky. That's one of the things I say. I usually say it standing up.
Oh, yeah.
I've been speaking 49 years, but only professionally for 18. That's
Yeah.
a good joke. But there was a time when I used to have the mantra momentum over money, momentum over money, and momentum meant that have more and more people. More and more people think, really positive about you. More and more people view you as progress in my vernacular. More people see you as a solution. More people see you as a go-getter. More people see you as a connector. And then you just trust the process.
Yeah.
There are a lot of ways to get sidetracked. There's a lot of ways to waste a lot of money. There's a lot of ways to go down rabbit holes and do all sorts of things. There's a big difference between doing something and looking like you're doing something. And I try to stay focused on doing something, not looking like I'm doing something.
Yeah.
There's ways, you can fill your schedule with a bunch of fiddle-faddle.
Sure. Yeah. I think it's just having that discernment to know what the best possible ROI or investment is for your.
Sometimes you got to shake it out. Sometimes you got to throw it out there and see.
Really?
Sometimes it's on you. A lot of times I know that a lot of people are talking about networking. A lot of times you shouldn't blame the event. Did you go in there with the right attitude?
Yeah.
Did you go in there with the right heat, right? Did
Yeah.
you have the right, did you think it was going to work out, right? Those type of things. And then a lot of times you got to realize that networking, connecting with people, it's about patience and persistence.
Mm-hmm.
You got to build priceless business relationships, in my vernacular again, it takes a series of progress-based impressions. That's not just impressions, right?
Yeah.
That's progress-based impressions, and my terminology is that if it's a progress-based impression, it's encourage someone to feel the unique right mixture to them of pleasure, peace of mind, profit, prestige, pain avoidance, and power.
Could you say it one last time for our audience? So it's a lot of
I've
peace,
said it
so.
before. I've said it several times. Pleasure, peace of mind,
Yeah.
profit, prestige, pain avoidance, and power. So if somebody's going to choose to build a relationship with you, they're not going to do it because they met you. They're going to do it because they view a relationship with you as some unique blend to them of pleasure, peace of mind, profit, prestige, pain avoidance, and power, which is the 6 P's of progress, which I share in both those
Both
those
books here.
publications.
So, and I know that you've also done music video stuff.
Well,
right?
I'm in the
'Cause you got
process. I'm
a
working with
album
this
here.
young avant-garde, artsy guy with a beard, and. So Trey's shooting the music video for Long Breath In, right?
Yeah.
We're working on that. We're working on that now.
We've had 2 shoots for that now. I think we're scheduling a 3rd one.
We will.
All
yes,
for the
thank
one
you.
song, right?
For Long Breath In. That's
Long
right.
Breath
It's the title track to the CD, which is not really a professional, doesn't fit right in there, but it was something I was called to
Yeah,
do.
something fun.
And it's fun.
Reaches out to people. So I think
right.
we have some footage of that. So we're going to go ahead and cut to that so you can see what it's all about. So.
Take a long breath in, breathe out, my friend.
Hey, so welcome back. So obviously there was some really cool footage in that. We did some cool drone stuff.
Yeah.
So lots of fun stuff. So make sure to check out his album. It's also on Spotify.
It is.
So you can check that out. Long Breath In. So, but yeah, back to your books and your stuff here. I know that you have this book, The Progress Agent Handbook for Influence Connection. Like this is your most latest thing.
Yeah, that's the
masterpiece.
latest. I'm really pleased with it.
Yeah.
And purposely decided to make the title very obvious that that's what you're going for. Influence and connection. There's a lot of stuff in there about networking, but
Yeah.
the goal of networking is not networking. The goal of networking is connection. So I'm trying to put the goal in there, and it would be a good book for entrepreneurs, but also for anybody in sales,
Yeah.
customer service, leadership. It's a catch-all around those 2 terms.
So I know that obviously the title is on here, so people can kind of see what it's about. Well, what's like a snippet of how you go deeper into it? Is there anything that you'd like to kind of explain further about the book?
It's in English. This one, it's in English. I decided to write this one. I've been consistent. All my books have been in English. No,
That's good.
exactly.
I can sign it, right?
Yeah, well,
How would
it's
you-
a
how
lot
would that
less
work?
time consuming. I'd have to learn another language and then, yeah. So, but I'd maybe, no. What I would say
Yeah.
is that, a lot of people talk about networking. I mean, a lot of
Okay.
people talk about, that we're going to go out and do and build your business. But it really comes down to listening, listening and asking
Interesting.
questions. The more that you listen, the more you can look at what you're offering and how what you're offering it can be progress to them. In the second half of the book, in the code section, I lay out, in the connection section, I lay out the connection code, what I call the 4 steps to building priceless business relationships. And the first one is create strong belief in yourself and services. The first didn't get out there and network. The first is
Interesting.
you really believing that what you have to offer is of value
Yeah.
to the other person. Because then you're going to be much more interested in and committed to getting out there, because in the end the other person's going to benefit from the connection.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right? And so and then the O is open face-to-face relationships. I'm all for social media and digital marketing. I'm pretty active on all that stuff. But I know full well that I build a stronger relationship with somebody that I've actually met face-to-face. And then the D is deliver solid first impressions. And the easy thing, and that's where a lot of people, whenever talk about networking, they talk about delivering solid first impressions, and they focus on the firm handshake and the eye contact, and those are important.
Yeah.
But the real challenge is the next series of impressions. We all know as humans how to make a first impression. That's the reason that I try to encourage people to focus on being interested rather than interesting to the other person.
Interesting.
Thank you. And the E in the acronym is earn trust, and so that's the series. And so the C and the E go together. So you have to see yourself as of value, and then it's building that series of progress-based impressions so that other people see you as value. And so that's the connection.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
the connection part of the book.
So just to kind of tie it all together, when you're going into your business, whether it's this industry or something else, you should always lead being interested in the other person, because that helps to sustain the building of the relationship.
You learn
And
stuff.
then-
You know everything about you.
Yeah.
The more you learn about them, then the more now you have other ways that you
Yeah.
can connect with them. That they're going to see as progress.
So really quick, is there any other tips that you can share before we wrap this thing up about business building? And I know you shared a lot with your work here.
Really quickly, tip. I think that'd be something funny. Buy these books. I'd
Yeah,
say that.
buy the
I
books.
think you definitely. Oh, I think what's also important is that we positioned me as a keynote speaker, and I definitely feel good about that. But I really do work one-on-one and in small groups. So if there is a small business owner that does want to shake it up and look at their marketing, not from the rollout, right? Not from with the video, not a video pack, but really the messaging that they're trying to put out there,
And the branding and
and the branding, and then their leadership
story.
and trying to get their sales team on board. I'd be honored to talk with them.
And where can they, Dean Lindsay Interactive, right?
Well, that's the name of the company, DeanLindsay.com. That's DeanLindsay.com. A lot of people do EY. So
Yeah.
I spell
Well,
it
good to
out.
clarify, right?
There were 2 Dean Lindsays in my graduating high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the other one was EY.
Interesting fact, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you never.
There's an interesting fact.
Yeah,
You wanted an
just
interesting fact?
Something interesting about
Yeah, there were
me.
2 Dean Lindsays.
All right, well, make sure to take a look into his books. Dean Lindsay's available for hire for both speaking and consulting, so make sure to take a look into that. But thank you guys for joining us this week. Definitely apply these lessons to your business, because by doing that, you have growth. Also, just another quick shout out to the Trey Group. Again, super fantastic people for sponsoring this location. Again, you can rent out these booths, or you can take a look at their showroom here, because they have a lot of great things. Like, we are so impressed with the amount of potential that you can just put your branding up and that type of thing. Like, we got Dean's video up in the background right now, actually. So just a whole bunch of great things to look forward to. So thanks again for being a part.
You're so
We
welcome.
appreciate
Thanks,
you, man.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah.
Congrats on this show.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, super blessed to have relationships like you guys, just to be able to that have the interest to pour back, in the community and equip other business owners. So appreciate you guys.
Right on.
But if you're interested in learning more, make sure to follow us on our socials and like and subscribe. Make sure to follow us if you want to be part of this journey. We have a heck of a lot more interviews scheduled out. So lots of great, exciting things to look forward to. So, but thank you guys for joining us this week, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.